Last time out, we were going over the entire squad as we were previewing the season. We'll be taking on European football for the first time, and I was hoping we'll have a good time. So now hitting the winter break, we are looking like we had a good time in the first game in Europe. We got a 5-1 victory away from home in a neutral venue in Belarus. We then lost 3-2 in the first league game of the year, having blown the lead twice. We then drew the next game in the Europa Conference League to make it through to the next round, where we were taking on Anderlecht, who beat us twice. So we're out of the Europa Conference League in the third quarterfinal round. Admittedly, Anderlecht are a good team, so it's not a massive shock. What I wasn't so keen on and happy about was the fact that we didn't win the next 3 league games, and it took us until our 5th league game to actually win our first league match. It didn't help that we didn't have the best of times afterwards. We only picked up 2 more wins in the next couple of games before we took on JLAB Socials and beat them by 0-0, showing that once again, we're really good against one of the better teams. We then ended up drawing the next game in the league though against Lotse, and we beat our opponents in the second round of the Polish Cup, even though we had to wait until the 91st minute to get the winner. Not beating either of the Garnet teams was not good for our confidence, but we did win the next game by 3-0 in the league before we went on a winless one that lasted for 7 matches and was the last game we had before the winter break. It was not our finest performance, to say the least. So far, we've not had the best of seasons. We've only picked up 20 points from our first 21 matches. We've been rather terrible, it has to be said, and we've been lucky that the teams below us have been worse. If it wasn't for our draws, we might be in relegation zone, and quite frankly, this has been our worst performance in the league campaign for a very long time. I cannot remember the last time we've done so badly at all. Financially, we're doing okay though, and as far as I'm concerned, that is a good thing as well. However, the board are looking to sell the club, so we could have a takeover sooner rather than later, and I'm hoping it'll be before the winter break ends, so we don't have to worry so much about a new owner coming in. It'll be a frustration if we are held up because of that. What I had forgot to mention though was actually the fact we've been given a new senior affiliate, and this wasn't even something I asked for, but the board did it anyway. AEK Athens are the new senior affiliate that we have, and I'm a little concerned that they may cause problems for us, but they could send players on loan to us, which we will never accept anyway. And they have the first option to buy any player from us, so that's not ideal, but hey, it's not the end of the world. It could have been worse. I also did convince the board to get a new junior club in the form of Odre Opel, so I think this could benefit us if they get promoted, or if they are doing well in the 3rd tier, we can get a good load of players going out to them, and hopefully in the long term, we'll be able to benefit by using them as a team to help our younger talents who can't get in the 1st team, get some playing time in the 2nd tier, and once they're ready for us, we can use them for our 1st team. Hopefully, this will benefit us long term, and we won't have to worry about this at all. The UT intake preview though is looking rather promising, and again, we've been told to expect good things. An excellent intake of Hannah Golden Generation. We're going to be expecting a good goalkeeper, a good fullback, 2 good centre midfielders, a good wide midfielder, and a good winger, as well as a good striker and a defensive midfielder. I would like to get a good centre back at some point because some of the centre backs we have right now are getting on the older side. So hopefully, long term, short term, we'll be able to get a load of good centre backs that will help us out. And given that we're expected to have 3 strikers come through this intake, that could solve our striker issue straight away. I actually want to talk about Europe now and talk about the Europa Conference League, where we were knocked out in the qualifying rounds. Our parent club AEK are actually in 13th place, so they can do more and more. JLAB Boston actually got through automatically, so we do not have to worry about that. And the team that knocked us out, Anderlecht, didn't even finish in the top 24 teams. So I can't even say we were knocked out by a good team if they were knocked out already themselves. So annoyingly, that's an issue, but hey, I guess we just got unlucky with who we got given, eh? Europa League, not been finished yet, but we might come back for that, because we're now going to go over the takeover that actually happened. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have now got a new owner, and I don't know what that means. I think it means he's Polish, and he's actually taken over the club, so we now got a new owner, and we're really happy with him, because he actually invested 1.1 million in the club's coffers, and a new transfer budget had been negotiated. Nothing has changed in this regard though. They still want me to just attempt to avoid relegation and then become an established club, though. That's the only difference that's happened. We had a transfer embargo, which honestly was not an issue because we're always going to have to not worry about it at all. But at one point, we were told that we could potentially lose our role as the manager. And also at one point, this takeover was actually on the verge of failing, and it was not going well at all, which says a lot about everything about where this was going. And the owner himself outright said, look, you got to end this now or nothing will happen at all. And then literally the guy turns up, said, okay, I'll talk, I'll do some more talks, and the next day takeover is completed. So that's one less thing to worry about, I suppose, and it's good to say the least. However, there's one thing I want to show you before we get to the end of this video, and that is this goal that might be the greatest goal I've ever seen in FM23. So let's go over it. It was in this game where we picked up our first league win of the season against PS, and we were looking to do ourselves justice. We had just won up at the time, and then this goal happened, and I can't believe how good this is, and I had to show you this in the video. I almost made it as short because of how good it is. I might still make it as short actually, but this goal is actually ridiculous and might be the best goal I've ever seen. So, YAC takes the ball, plays it inside. It's cleared away, YAC then takes it, and then first time, volley, goal. That might be the best goal you ever see in FM23. Unsurprisingly, I'll be shocked if it doesn't win goal of the season. It is that good of a goal. And that was the kind of goal he produced when we were looking for our first win of the year. Incredible, isn't it? I also should have mentioned all the staff members we brought in, and including a familiar name. First, we brought a scout, and yeah, I'm not going to try and say his name. We're paying just £60 a week. I think we're ripping him off, but I'm happy either way. He's really good for a scout. Simon, we brought in as a fitness coach. Not the best in the world, but is still better than what we had. We've also brought in Alexander Kodorov as a chief scout. Now, I know he's not the best in the world at the role, but he's still pretty good and gives us more knowledge in areas that we didn't have before. I wanted to sign him when I was in Serbia. I never could because we retired before I could. But we've now gone in this save, and I'm happy. We brought in Grego Busec as the under-19s physio. He's quite good. We also brought in Juri Escua, who's an Andorian physio. He was better than what we had, and I thought, yes, let's bring this guy in. We also brought in a new coach in Chaser. So, again, quite good. Fluent kind of type of 4-3-3 for better formation. He could be a manager, honestly, but yeah, I thought better as a coach. We've also brought in an under-19s manager in the form of Omar Edwards. Considering he's only 46 and is an under-19s manager, I'm amazed we got him, quite frankly. He looks too good for what we are looking for, so hopefully this guy is our long-term under-19s manager. We also brought in Adam as a performance analysis. He's not amazing, but he was better than what we had. We also brought in Pietri Sarawi as another performance analysis. Again, not amazing, but what can you do? We also brought in Merrick as the second team's coach. He's quite good, quite frankly. We also brought in Pietri Mistel, and again, really happy with him. Under-19s goalkeeper coach, has a National B license, so can definitely improve. Last person we brought in was another under-19s performance analysis. He also knows knowledge of Canada, and yes, Moralski is quite good at that. As soon as the new board took over and put 1.1 million in the bank, I actually decided to try and invest in a new training facility upgrade. I know it's going to help us, and I'm hopeful it will be really good for the development of the players. So another upgrade in the training facilities. It's the third one we've had in about 2 years, so it'll be very, very good for us. And I'm hoping that with the young talent coming through, everyone will benefit, and that's the dream right now. It really is. But given that we're now currently in 15th place, going out of the winter break, that will happen sooner rather than later, I am going to end this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys like and share this video and like subscribe to the channel. It really does help me a lot. Do you think we can get relegated just a year after getting third place? Or do you think we'll survive? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on that down below. But either way, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.